Hey guys, got a short one again today. I'm working on something big, so it might take a while. So in the meantime, let me impart some knowledge to you. So my favorite vehicle for PvP in GTA Online would have to be the B11. But after the oppressor nerf, the Sparrow crept up into that number 2 spot. I genuinely thought that when the Mark II got its missiles nerfed, the Sparrow would become the new meta PvP vehicle. But I was wrong. No, people still use the oppressors, even though they suck now. I genuinely haven't touched mine since the update. I guess people don't like it when they have to actually use skill to kill people. Anyway, let's get started. So first off, before we do anything, we're going to need to go into our settings, come down to camera, and make sure you got first person vehicle hood turned on. Basically what this does is make it so whenever you're in first person in a vehicle, your camera will be on the hood of the vehicle instead of on your character. This is a must-have if you're a dogfighter. Anyway, after that, you're good to call in your Sparrow. It should be under Services in the interaction menu. Go under Kosaka, call Sparrow. It should spawn right next to you. You're going to need to fly this back to your Kosaka. Put chaff on it if you already haven't, because flares are genuinely useless. In case you didn't know, chaff just blocks their ability to lock onto you for like 5 seconds. But flares just occasionally reroute already fired missiles. So once you got that done, you're good to start learning the controls. This helicopter flies like any other one, but you'll notice that this one is way faster. This thing is fast enough to dodge missiles easily at full speed. I'd say get used to the controls for a few minutes. For me, I used it in KO Perico so much that flying this was just second nature. So if you're a KO grinder, you're in luck. When it comes to actually attacking your targets with the Sparrow, that's where things start to get tricky. You're going to want to toggle homing off so you don't accidentally lock onto cops. It's something I've done a lot. The thought of free aiming your missiles might seem a little daunting at first, but it's really not as hard as you think, especially with your camera set to hood cam. When a target is on foot, what you're going to want to do is get up close, but not too close. You want to stay out of their lock-on range. But if you're a free aim player, you can just get really close without consequence. You're going to want to hover in a circle by tapping your left or right bumper while also moving the stick in whatever direction you're spinning. You want to keep your target in this black line here, and you want to keep your nose pointed directly at them. Before every time you shoot missiles, you should pop chaff, so you could kill them before they even get a lock on you. And make sure you use your bumpers to make minor aim corrections midair too, the same way you would in a dogfight. Shooting players on the ground will take skill and practice, so starting off, you might not be the best. You just gotta stick with it. Since the missile launcher is dead center on the Sparrow, the missiles will be dead accurate to wherever you shoot, unlike the Buzzard, which has the launchers to the side, so it will always hit what you're aiming at. I suggest practicing on NPCs or cops. I mostly practice just by shooting random things as I'm flying around, but any spot with small targets visible from far away would be fine. Next, I want to talk about helicopter PvP in case your opponent calls his own helicopter in. I don't have a clip of this because it doesn't happen that often, but this is a way more simple matter. First, pop chaff when they're about 3 street blocks down from you, just like you would in oppressor jousting. Hover in a circle like you would when fighting a ground target, but also keep your right trigger held down. That way you'll be flying upwards in a spiral pattern, which should let you dodge the missiles. Then it just comes down to whose missiles hit first. If you're good enough, though, you can win these with a well-placed free aim missile. I don't suggest using the Sparrow to go up against planes. Even a half-decent pilot would roll you. I've done it before, but it genuinely isn't worth it. Although, if you were going to choose a helicopter to dogfight, this would be the one. Next up, let's talk about weaponized vehicles, because they're surprisingly easy. If it's a Deluxo, I'd say run, because you have 0 chance, but anything else is pretty easy. Since most of the weaponized vehicles have a shorter lock-on range than the Sparrow, you can easily sit out of that range and just missile spam them. The Sparrow is perfect for taking out Toreadors, Strombergs, tanks, Ruiners, or even Night Sharks, since it has unlimited spam missiles. It really is just as simple as staying out of their attack range, because yours is most likely bigger than theirs. Finally, I want to talk about a few of the Sparrow's weaknesses. If your opponent is using explosive ammo, then you genuinely have no chance. But then again, all aircraft have that flaw. That's more of an issue with the sniper itself. Next is, it's clearly impossible to dodge Ruiner missiles, or any other highly accurate missiles in the game. Luckily, like I mentioned before, you most likely won't be able to even be locked onto by Ruiner missiles. But if it's a Deluxo or a Scramjet even, then they might be able to just have enough time to close that gap between you two. And once they get a lock on, it's all over for you. Also, a downside of the hood cam is having less environmental awareness. Your camera is more zoomed in, so it's harder to see the buildings or any other obstructions that you might hit while trying to fight. But I'd say that's a good trade, because the actual cockpit camera isn't much better. And finally, my biggest issue with it is its damn landing bars. Every time you land the helicopter, you damage it because there's no shocks on it. Please fix the landing bars, Rockstar. Alright, I'm going to wrap it up here. Hope this helped you in becoming a better pilot. Thanks for watching.